It says we're live.
Hey, hey.
Hey, everybody. This is Ryan, Simple Biz Support. I'm looking at one screen that says it's still trying to stream live, and Zoom says we are live. So I have no idea. Oh, apparently we are. All right. So the YouTube channel finally kicked in on the other monitor. Let's start from the beginning, Sarah. What the heck? You are Sarah Giametti with Provaro Marketing. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm Ryan Perry, Simple Biz Support down in Rohnert Park. Sarah's up north, about an hour or so north here in California. And gosh, a couple years ago, we were actually doing live videos just like this through I even forget, was it through Facebook or YouTube?
Facebook.
Facebook, okay. We tried doing that, but we kept on getting bumped off of Facebook. So we're like, all right, let's go to YouTube. We wanted to talk about and share with you some marketing ideas, tips with everybody who's in shelter in place. It's affecting everybody nationally, globally at this point. And when I say everybody, like literally just about everybody, but more specifically business owners and small business owners are really being hit hard when you have to essentially be in place. And if you're anything like us, a lot of our clients are choosing to suspend or cancel services simply because they don't have any money coming in either. And the question becomes, well, what do you do? And we want to just take some time and redirect that focus, not on what to do, or excuse me, what could happen, and refocus on what you can do and really help and support the community. And the best way we thought we would be able to do that and reach out is going to be through both YouTube and Facebook. And we wanted to do it live so we could actually get interactions. People can leave comments, can offer suggestions, can ask questions. We are here. And we're going to reach out twice a week. One is going to be on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. and it's 1:30 right now. So if that tells you anything about how the technology's been for us for the last half hour, that's why we're going live a half hour late. But also at 4 p.m. and this is all Pacific time, by the way, 4 p.m. on Thursday. And before we got cut off last time, you were talking about something wonderful, Sarah. Do you remember what it was?
I do a little bit. I was talking about local businesses. Marketing is often the first budget line item to go. And it's actually a shame because if you stop marketing, you stop telling people you're open, then they stop remembering that you're open. And it makes it a lot harder for you to come through and something like this, especially if your competition does not pause their marketing and they pivot. And that's one of the things we want to talk about too, is thinking outside the box and being creative. How can you pivot your business, even if it's just temporarily, to build goodwill with your customer base or potentially new customers, the people in your community, and also possibly continue to bring in at least some dollars right now. But by doing marketing and making some shifts, even temporary, will keep you front of mind so that when all of this ends, because it is going to end, this is not going to be forever, then you're prepared to hit the ground running and get right back to business. Whereas if you spend the next couple more, it's already been a couple weeks where things have really slowed down. And as the shelters in place get worse and more restrictive, I mean, they're looking at another possible, 2, 4, 6 weeks. And if you do nothing to promote your business and stay in front of people for that time, you're going to be dead in the water in 6 weeks, especially if your competition keeps marketing. They're going to leapfrog right over you, and you're just exacerbating the problem. So we wanted to help with ideas and brainstorming on how to help you pivot things right now, so you're at least still working on your business if you're not working in it quite as much.
Yeah, and somebody talked about this the other day, and that is during the Great Depression, not the 2009 Great Depression, but the one from the 20s, is Post and
Kellogg.
Thank you. One of them went, we're not going to market, we're not going to do anything. Their sales tanked. The other one said, we're going to double down on marketing, and their sales increased dramatically, because the reality is it's front and center, right? We got to have.
Right. And it was, if I remember correctly, because I was reading that same thing last night, probably from the same person, that it was Kellogg who doubled down on it. But a big part of what they doubled down on was the education, because it was cereal. And so at that time, pre-packaged cereal was a brand new product.
Mm.
So not only double down on their marketing, but they double down on educating the consumer about why they wanted it and created that need. And so they leapfrogged over Post. And so even though Post cereals still exist to this day, they're not the behemoth that Kellogg is in the prepackaged cereal food plus everything else that they've grown. And so they're a perfect example of maybe not double down and double your budget, but don't stop.
Right. Yeah, and I think also the education piece is really important. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about is I think a lot of people aren't sure how to market these days, especially if you're used to connecting with people face to face. If there's all these different things that are going on, and I just want to get back to basics, and that is the good old smartphone. They have great video on these guys nowadays, and so video marketing is a great way. It's why Sarah and I are going live right now through video. It's a great way to, one, stay in front of people. Number two, it's a great way to educate and provide goodwill during these difficult times. And the reality is more people are online right now than ever because they don't have anything to do. And so it's not about how do I sell something right now? How do I sell you a product? It's not about selling. I want to shift people's mindset that might be locked into that and shift into education, just like you were talking about with the cereal. Educate clients. They have the time now to reflect on things. And if you're in a market where people have been resistant to change, this is a great opportunity because so many people are going to be open to change because they're forced into change right now.
A perfect example of that is I had a doctor's appointment scheduled for last Thursday. And this was like 2 days after the shelter in place went in effect for our county. And it's with a gastroenterologist, Western medicine, kind of old stodgy. They still mail me paperwork to fill out. And they switched to Zoom meetings to protect their staff, protect us. And so this is it's a prime opportunity to really shift your market if you're something that is kind of stuck in old school. If my 50-something-year-old gastroenterologist can get on a Zoom meeting in 24 hours notice and have the appointment, and obviously that's not going to work for every appointment, but for what mine was, really, I just needed to get a test ordered. So I didn't need to go in and see them. So it was a perfect example of doing that. Whereas like the functional medicine doctor I work with, it's been video for the entire time I've worked with her. So think about what need that you normally fill and how you can pivot it and maybe be revolutionary for your industry, even if it's just in this market and it doesn't grow beyond that. How can you solve the problem you were filling in person from online, even if it's just a temporary solution?
Yeah, and I think one of the best ways of doing that is going to be using video conference technology such as Zoom, which happens to be the #1 app recently on both iOS and Google on Android. And it's great because you have an opportunity now to reach out to people while still being sheltered in place. I know people are doing dance parties through Zoom, they're playing games on Zoom, but it's also just a great way to reach out to people who are clients, even past clients, and just checking in to see how you're doing. Right. And I think one of the great tools that we can use is going to be this technology, but also some old technology called letters or postcards, and just sending like a little handwritten note, just thanking people, hey, I've been or thinking about you, type of a thing. Hope you're doing well. And it's not even about mentioning the business. It's just a token of appreciation for friendship and connecting with people in these tough times. They'll remember that later on.
Right. And if you want to delve a little deeper, and we even think about, I know Ryan and I have done a lot of training over the years in behavioral styles and personality and things like that. Like if you've done any training in it or have some experience in it, think about what behavioral style your clients might be and what would match them. And for me, like not behavioral style, but like I'm an introvert. I prefer working from home more than I prefer going to my office. The shift for me as an introvert is my husband and daughter are secluded here with me when they normally aren't during my business hours. And so it still is a shift. But I have a lot of extrovert friends who, being socially isolated is very hard for that behavioral style and that personality. And so think about who you're sending it to, and can you do something, if it's clients, friends, family, uh, can you make a little shift that would mean a lot to them and help them out? Because that goodwill will fall into your business as well, or and carry over into it if you can think just a little bit differently and a little bit more personal and personalize your approach to reaching out to people and clients and whatever.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if we shift from that now to what are some practical things that people can do, we brainstormed, came up with a number of them, but now I see today as kind of like spring cleaning, in your home.
Mhm.
And this is an opportunity to go, oh, well, I'm just going to clean the window seal. And then you kind of notice that, oh, maybe I should, maybe you have time, folks.
Yeah.
Now's a great time to relook at all the tools that you've had in place. Maybe your website, as an example, we tend to create and forget it. It's time to maybe reevaluate your business cards. If you have any traffic funnels, now's a great time to take a look at your analytics, what's working, what isn't working, what needs to be refreshed and updated. And I think one of the key things is, especially if you're, let's say, food service right now, as an example, where there is still a demand, it's shifted, but a lot of people don't know if restaurants are open or not. So just doing a little, coronavirus or a COVID-19 update on your website that says, hey, this is what we're doing. I've been craving pizza for the last couple of days, and so I know with Mod Pizza, I could order a pizza online, and then it was really nice because I ordered it, paid for it, all that. I just drove up. They had a not a countertop, but a table set up right at the front door, and my pizza was there. It had a receipt on there with my name and the type of pizza. I just grabbed it, walked out the door. I was done.
Yeah.
But they had a notification on their website that told you what the process was.
Right. And the pizza place in my hometown they already did delivery Sundays. And so what they did, they repurposed employees, and they're doing both takeout and delivery. But they repurpose employees to expand their delivery availability to being, because it used to be just during specific hours and on specific days. Now it's the whole time.
Nice.
And they do card only. So you pay over the phone. They ask you how much do you want to tip over the phone. So it's all on the credit card. And so all they do is walk up, knock, hand it over, and walk away. And you could even take it a step further with the 6-foot social distancing, is call the homeowner, or, put the food on the front porch and knock as you're walking away, because they're not going to be standing at the door to open it. And so you can keep your staff even more protected. But so think about how you can repurpose, at least for restaurants, how can you repurpose your wait staff who can no longer work because there's no dining in?
Right.
Do they have a car?
The neighborhood dogs would really appreciate it if you just left food on the porch.
You're knocking like for a second, or they walk away to make sure they're 6 feet away from the door, whatever.
Yeah, no, I totally
Whatever
get
makes you
it.
feel comfortable, but
Yeah.
but that's being creative. There's in Geyserville, it's Diavolo, who also owns the Geyserville Gun Club, which is a bar. In California, they relax liquor rules, that you can now order wine and cocktails to go with your food. And so it was easy for them because they are the same owner, but you could call in, order food from Diavola, and order a cocktail from Geyserville, and pick up both together. And so, maybe especially the bars who, like, if you didn't serve food before, you're SOL, maybe find a restaurant who doesn't have a full liquor license and pair up with them and offer a couple of cocktails. So you're at least doing, like, you're able to do something. Another one I saw, and none of this is up Ryan's alley, but bartenders were doing videos showing how to make cocktails. People are still going to come into the bar, but right now is a great time to teach them how to make their favorite drinks that they come see you for. It's just, ways to think outside the box, like entertain people or build the education. There's a lot of ways you can do it to keep people tuning in.
Right, definitely. And so I think, like you're saying, now is the opportunity to try, test unique things. It's time to break down maybe some of those limiting beliefs of this is the only way I can do business. There's no other options. Now is the time to test, do things creatively. There are a number of reports, and this is, I think it's past the critical point at this point, but people who are offering toilet paper if you bought food. You know, you got to roll of toilet paper with every order that you place. So we talked about, okay, let's do some spring clean. Let's check out the website and see if it needs to be updated, adding a notification if you're open or not. We've also discussed that this is a great opportunity of not necessarily asking for sales or trying to get sales right now, but really strengthen communications and relationships that you have. Is there anything, let's say, with like local or social media that you could be doing differently in order to really keep in front of your audience?
Absolutely. So well, so the problem, there were recommendations to update your Google My Business, but now with staff being home, the changes might not get updated quite as quickly. So but you can still
You're
do
saying
Google Posts.
Google's not able to make the updates.
Yeah, well, because
Right.
it goes into review, and so it may be stuck in review, and you might have some issues there. So instead
Okay.
of updating your Google My Business, do a post on there, the content post. But with social media, not only do you want to post it to your page, then turn around and share it you should share that post on your personal profile, because likely you own a business in the community you live in, which means a lot of your Facebook friends are also in that community and they can help you amplify the message. The other thing is right now, a lot of businesses have pulled their Facebook dollars. So cost per whatever activity, cost per action has drastically decreased. And so a great way, especially if you're a business where you want to get a message out timely, like tomorrow we're doing this, tomorrow a restaurant, tomorrow our menu is this, is throw $5 or $10 behind it and just do a very basic target, maybe the age, maybe the mile radius around, you probably want to do the mile radius around your business, depending on how far you target out. Age, you might want to adjust it to be, at least the low end. You don't want to target 13-year-olds unless that's your target audience. And then maybe gender, if that applies. So like if you're a women's clothes store, then you want to just target women. But other than that, don't put any interests in, because you're going after the local market, and throw just a few dollars behind it to get the message out in front of people immediately. Because I can't tell you, there's a restaurant here in town where I saw the post where they said initially they were going to be closed. And then I never saw the post where they said, okay, we're set up now to do takeout. Here's our menu, until it was like 2 days later. And it was like, I kept seeing their announcements after the fact. And so that doesn't serve them, because what if I wanted to order the food? Well, it's too late because I'm seeing it at 11 p.m. I've already had dinner and they're closed. So especially if it's a timely message, just, spend a little bit of money. You don't have to spend a lot. You can do $5 or $10 for 1 day or 2 days. Just to see. We've been running it for Tom's IT company. And he's getting a lot of message and traction, just to be like, hey, we're here, we can remotely help you with your computers.
Yeah.
But that extra little dollar amount, it's not a ton of money, is making a big difference in getting the exposure you need right now, and none of it is salesy.
Yeah, and so I think it's great that you bring this up, because advertising cost is really tied to demand. The higher demand for something, the more expensive it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, with demand going down, advertising dollars are either going to go farther or it's going to get you a greater reach.
Right.
I know, speaking to Sue Bonzel, who's the promotions person over at KZST, they are running some crazy deals. I forget, I want to say it was like $275 on some of the radio stations. You can actually get a week's worth of advertising on radio for as little as $75.
Insanely cheap right now.
Insanely.
I don't know if anybody knows how much radio is, but radio can get really costly depending on when you are. So $275 for an entire week's worth of radio ads, incredibly inexpensive.
Yep.
I think I'm paying right now. I've got another client. They happen to be a water company, and people are wanting bottled water. Mm-hmm. So it works out really well. But normally my cost per click is in the $2 to $3 range, and I'm paying like 80 cents right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Same audience, same people, less salesy message. And, you know, so I tweaked the creative, I tweaked the message, obviously, but like, I'm looking at this, but I mean, even me who's doing it, seeing that like, I'm usually paying $2 to $3 a click and be like, ah, that's good. That's a good price for who we're targeting, the audience. And now they have 2 different stores. And I think last I looked, I was paying like 67 cents a click on one and 85 cents a click on the other. Like, it's a gold mine because my client's money is going so much further than it normally does right now. So it's just like, take advantage of the opportunities versus cowering and stopping and being in fear.
Yep.
You know, I know it's really hard to do that because I fall into that too.
Yeah. And I think the other thing separate from social medias then is just connect with people locally. So I know there's a lot of mastermind groups popping up, support groups, all kinds of different opportunities to connect with people. It is the one nice thing about these types of crisis, if you will, is that it kind of forces us as human beings to connect with people in different ways that maybe we're not used to, and also reevaluate what's really important to us. And so I think this is a great opportunity to take some time, self-reflection. If you haven't read a book, now is a great time to read a book about either marketing or your business or self-improvement, whatever it is that you're interested in.
Think about what have you been putting off, because the economy has been really great the last few years, especially for small business owners. And so think about the tasks that you've been putting off. What's the business book that you might have started or you've been really wanting to read? And, you know, make a commitment that you're going to read 1 chapter a day or X number of pages per day, and hold yourself to that, because we all know we all had time before. We really have time now to do that. And so become a creative master of your calendar. This is something that I learned a long time ago from like, you know, Mike and Don. And Mike did a video yesterday, and that was one of his points. And I was like, yeah, that's where I learned it from, is be a master of your calendar. But I take it a step further, is I put tasks in there for my workday. Instead of having a to-do list, I fill out my workday with all the crap I have to do. So put in the hour a day to read that business book, put in an hour a day to do your social media, or cross post with your fellow business owners who are also suffering. Like, go actively look for them and share their stuff on your personal profile, on your business page. You know, just block out an hour for that. Block out an hour for reading, block out an hour for reviewing 1 page of your website and rewriting it or adjusting it. You know, so think about those things and then put it on your calendar, and then honor your calendar, which is the more important part, because you can, if you just blow right through it, then it doesn't do you any good.
Right. But I mean, that's why we put stuff on the calendar, isn't it?
Right. To just be like, nah.
Okay.
You know, I have the gym on my calendar for every Friday morning, and I honor the Monday, Wednesday one, but Friday I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I pulled the gym off my calendar, but I'm incorporating some push-ups. I haven't done any today, and I'm trying to do walks around the building, just to keep active at this point. So, but yeah,
I redid my garden beds.
What's that?
So I redid my garden beds.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. They look nice.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I didn't realize when I married a very handy guy, like, how awesome it is to marry a handy guy.
Yeah.
Because I can be like, hey, can you build me some garden boxes? And I can just say, like, these are the dimensions I want. And I don't have to worry about like how it gets put together, because he knows how to do it and has the tools to do it. And so, but I had to shove all the dirt out of the old ones. And so I discovered that I really need to up my core game.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, if they're not super raised.
Well, and it was just like it's the twist thing, because you're emptying the dirt from one box and moving them over to where you moved the boxes. And but so, you know, I still am working, but I took time. Like, take the time also to take care of yourself, take care of the things around your house you've been neglecting. Like, we've been talking about because last summer my garden wasn't so hot last summer, and it frustrated me, and I wanted to fix it. So my husband and I have been talking about redoing the garden since like September, October. you know, and we just never got to it because we both run businesses and we've been busy. And so I was like, well, we're both dead. Let's take a couple days and just get it done. You know,
You mean
so
time-wise?
huh?
You mean dead as in time-wise?
Yes.
Not as in, oh, I got a scratchy throat.
Right. No.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. So far, our house is still healthy.
All right, good to hear.
But you know, don't just, you know, take the opportunity and just get your mind off of what's going on. Take care of some of the honey-do list, the stuff you've been putting off, because business is going to bounce back.
Yeah.
But then turn around and figure out how to be creative, what you can do, and just keep kind of plugging along. And you know, if you're doing new marketing stuff, have fun with it. People want the interaction, they want it to be down to earth. So you don't need to be, you know, if you're doing education, you don't need to be super stiff and
Vanilla.
about it.
Vanilla is a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like vanilla.
I was talking to a prospect late last week, and they're a wine importer. I'm like, and they're running a video that had no humans in it. It's wine. I'm like, sit down and drink the wine and tell
Right.
people what it tastes like and what you love about it. Like, sit down and like pretend like it's a virtual happy hour and record some videos. You know, so
I always thought for like hot tub stores, they just need to have two people in a hot tub, just talking about life, just talking about things, not even talking about hot tubs.
Like the end of the day, and you're just like, oh,
just spend a half hour in a hot tub and just go live and just have conversation with people.
Like you've got to
I think would be the best marketing ever.
Yeah, whether it's a, you know, bubbly water or a cocktail, it's the end of the day. Yeah, and you and your significant other are sitting on at the end of the day, just talking about life or recapping how your day was and just relaxing. You know, think outside the box, have fun with it, because right now people are bored. They're blowing through their Netflix list, they're blowing through their YouTube channels that they subscribe to, and they're running out of content to watch. So give them something to watch.
Yep, definitely. So I think with that, we should call it. We've been on for about a half hour. Again, we will be back on Thursday. Ideally, we're going to be on Facebook, though. We got to figure out that logistics. Hopefully, the software will work. It's nice that YouTube did not boot us off, unlike Facebook, which kept on ending our live feed for some reason. Don't know why. It could be a bandwidth issues, but you know, we'll get things figured out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to share some ideas and have fun doing it. I should have brought a Mountain Dew with me. But next time.
Well, you know, me and my never-ending coffee.
Yeah, or I got my water.
I have to have both.
Yeah. All right, Sarah, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing those ideas and thoughts. And I'll see you in a couple of days.
All right, and feel free to reach out to us on, you know, you can look us up, Simple Biz Support, Brevara Marketing, find us on any social media or email or website. If you've got questions, you've got a specific question and you're running into a roadblock on how to pivot right now, you know, reach out. We're happy to help you. It just, you know, help as many business owners as we can navigate this and get through it to the other side.
Yeah, definitely. All right, until Thursday, hope you have a great day. Take care, everybody.